Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. All my days, it's the battle of the confessional gangsters. Hi everyone, my name's OJ and this is my review on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode number 4 for season 17. I don't know why I said it that way. Season 17, episode 4. Here we go. So, I'm literally just gonna go down, like I basically went almost not scene for scene, but as the episode went on, I wrote down people's names and what I saw and what I found interesting and yada 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 yada. So thank you so much. Um, give me a minute. So starting off at the top, we'll start with Pinky. Pinky is organizing an event for her charity, which I think is pretty cool, and I love the fact that there's an emphasis on giving back to the community, and she's sort of organizing something where all the girls, I guess each person has something that they need to bring or should bring. So I love that. I think that that is amazing, and I love seeing people be able to give back however and whenever they can. Um, Obviously, while Pinky Scene came up, they obviously popped up like a report on like unpaid rent, which is very interesting. I wonder if is there some sort of like misappropriation of funds with her team? Well, I guess I don't want to accuse her team, but is there like a misappropriation of funds happening where there's no rent paid to her places? Because I don't know, it just seems very interesting, right? Like I don't know. And then while on the topic of Pinky, she also in the scene she has met up with what's her name, Kelly, and Kelly is talking about filing for bankruptcy too, and she's telling her story on how like why she's at this decision and how she's come to make this choice and for what reasons. And I feel terrible. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm just wondering like last year, you remember when she had that birthday, like she had like all these events where she was throwing, as well as the scenes where she was taking her puppy to this puppy spa and like to get a massage and all that, as well as when she did the scene with her daughter doing like all the I think I don't know 16 candles or 16 um Chanel bags or something. Like if like literally a year later she's now considering filing for bankruptcy, why would you then at the time be spending all this money when you know that for one you're going through a divorce, for two you have all these other expenses that to me seem unnecessary? Like I get that she wants to give her child a good life, I get that she would want to provide for her kids in a way that she maybe didn't get, or in a way that she thinks would be lovely, which I don't blame her for that. I feel like if I were to be a parent, I would like to give my children the kind of life that I would have liked to have had, or the kind of life that I didn't have. Because, if I'm starting at level one, why should they start at level 1 or 0? They should be starting at level 5. Like, I'm here sweating and working myself off for them, so they don't have to start down here. That's just my thought. But yeah, back to my question with Kelly and, obviously potentially filing for bankruptcy now. Like, back then, did she know where her finances were? And she was just sort of, I don't want to say this, but in a way, keeping up with the Joneses, especially being on a reality TV show, especially being on a show and living in a place like Atlanta where it seems like everything is very showy, everything is about brands and labels and all that. I don't know, like I once again, like I said with what's her name, Pinky in the last review for the last episode, like I wish them well. I don't think it's an easy thing to be this forthcoming about, your bankruptcy and your story and how and what's going on with your finances. Like, God bless. Um, so next, we'll be moving on to talk about Shamia. As I have said before, I believe Shamia has a beautiful family, and I will say that on and on. And the reason I say it that way and say it with this tone is every time Shamia's husband comes on television or on TV or in a scene, it just seems like he is not interested. And I understand that not everyone is, like a camera person, and not everyone wants to be in front of a camera. And, being on a reality TV show is not for everyone. But at the same time, like, this is something for his wife. This is something that it's his wife's job. Like, I don't know, wouldn't you maybe want to, put your best foot forward? Wouldn't you want to at least show up and be engaging and be happy and I don't know, show a good representation of your family and your marriage and your unity? Like that's just my opinion. I don't understand like Gerald. He to me he just seems like just there. Like he's just there, just like a flower on the wall, a light switch on the wall. Like he's just there. Like when she was talking to him, he was sort of giving like one word answers. He was just kind of looking down. And when she even asked if he was going to be, joining them in Dallas for Cynthia's tequila event, he kind of basically said no. And even when, like, just before the scene ended, because in the scene she was trying on a dress with one of her stylists, I believe. She then said, "Oh, like if you change your mind, I'll be in Dallas, like in this blue dress." And like, I don't know, I felt sad. Like it felt like he just didn't like acknowledge her or acknowledge things that she wants to do, or like show that he's interested. And I don't know, like it really made me sad when he turned around and walked off after she had said what she said. Like I just thought, like, oh, like at least I don't know, like maybe give her a hug, like give her a kiss or something, and be like, I'll try my best to make it. Or I don't know, just I get that he doesn't want to be around camera. That's what we've been told, and that's what I guess she has told us. But can he at least do it for her? At least try. Like it's my God. I don't think it's that damn hard, in my opinion. But it is what it is, I guess. Um, why is Cynthia doing a tequila business? Like, obviously, in the scene, they did talk about Cynthia. Well, what's her name? Shamia talked about going to Dallas for Cynthia's tequila thing that she's doing with Adrian Malouf, I believe. Because I remember she had the Seagram's escapes off and like the peach bellinis. But why is Cynthia doing tequila? I mean, you know, we'll have bills pay, so I guess it is what it is. Like I'll just leave her be. Also, before we like get off this topic of Shamia and Gerald, while they were in there, Shamia talks about the surrogacy again, and she talks about potentially what may happen because they only have, I believe, one male embryo left, and what that could mean if the embryo doesn't take and the surrogate is not pregnant. Like they lose the embryo, they don't have a boy embryo. I don't know if they have any other girl embryos, but my thing is why does it come across that Gerald doesn't seem as I shouldn't say happy, but he doesn't seem satisfied with the fact that like he's already got two beautiful daughters. Like your youngest daughter literally had so many like health complications. Like why does it seem like he won't be satisfied until he gets his son? That's what it seems like to me, and I feel so terrible for any daughter, any child that grows up in a world where they feel like their parent wanted something else, but they were there. Like it's so sad. I don't really understand why some parents, prefer one over the other, or they may have, all girls, but they really, really want their son, or they may have all boys and they really, really want their daughter. Like that's fine, but I don't know. Like, is it like I don't want to sound culturally insensitive, but I'm from like a very male dominant culture. Is it something like for Gerald because he's Kenyan where he believes and wants to have a male child, like in order to like pass on his name and carry on his legacy and like his businesses and all that. Like you can still do the same with your daughters. Like it's not. I don't know. Like this is not the old days where you need to. It needs to be a son to guarantee all that. Like I just. I just feel it just makes me feel really bad for the girls because obviously they'll grow up and they will see all this and I wonder like how will it make them feel? Like, would they feel less than? Would they feel like, oh, our dad didn't want us? Or, like, it actually makes me sad. Like, I don't know. Oh, well, it is what it is. Like, I wish them well. I really wish them well. And I hope that I think two kids is enough, but who am I to tell people what to do with their kids, what to do with the amount of kids that they have and want to have for them? So it is what it is. Moving on now to Portia and this fake love interest, this bald-headed man. Obviously, he comes over to her house while she's getting ready to pack for the Dallas trip for Cynthia's like tequila thing. And obviously they then chit chat about that, what that entails. And I think Cynthia's having like a gala in Dallas as well. And then actually, while they were chit chatting, or maybe even before when he first came in, he was asking for like a key to the place, and I was like, please, you're not even around at the end of the season. Like, just get your pay and just keep it moving. Like, we all know that this is not real. We all know that this is not a real scene, real, how will I say, real relationship at all. Because I don't know, from what people have said, he's been on like a few um, reality TV shows. So maybe he doesn't have like, the kind of money that Portia would want. And speaking of the kind of money that Portia would want, like there's nothing wrong with wanting money. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be with someone who can provide a certain lifestyle for you. Because Portia, for herself, she is at a point now where she's, making a lot of money. She like it just came out in an interview that her go naked hair is like valued at $10 million. Like, do you like be equally yoked? Like, you know, I don't see the issue with her wanting to be with someone with money. It's a non-issue. Like, why would you want to be with someone with no money or someone broke or someone that potentially can't provide you with the lifestyle that you deserve and that you are used to? So, go Portia. She got this house now, so where are we now? Speaking of house, Portia did mention in this scene that she had sold her house, or she had pulled out like $1 million worth of equity in her house. I don't see the issue with that. Like, she does whatever she needs to do for herself to, sort her life out, to guarantee her life, I guess. But it's kind of like, it was like sort of like a nostalgic, emotionally nostalgic thing when she was talking about when she had first got the house and what that meant for her. And ooh, I'm getting emotional. I'll tell you why in a bit. But like just her journey, like from like when you first met her in season 5, she was just what 30/31. She had just gotten married, and they were just showing all the trials and tribulations and everything that came with being a newlywed, and how she was basically, in my opinion, in like somewhat of a controlling marriage where Cordell wanted like this image or like this I guess trophy wife type of thing, and she was happy to oblige and comply. And as time had gone on, and she had met these women, and she had found her voice, and she started wanting her dreams and things for herself, he kind of wasn't on board with that because he just wanted like a traditional like Stepford wife. So yeah, obviously that was season 5. Season 6, they divorced, and she pretty much left the marriage with barely anything really. So she had to really like work from the ground up to like build her house, build her businesses. And I don't know, I can say that though I may not be the biggest Porsche fan, I'll say that I admire that. Like, I admire people that just go to bat for themselves, and they just they know and they envision and they can see what they want, and they will like not stop at anything till it's done. And I really can say that I truly admire that about Porsche. Like, some of her ways may be questionable, like with the whole assignment of it all, but at the end of the day, she's doing whatever she wants and however she wants to live her life. So back from my tangent, when she was talking about the house, like I said, it made me emotional because I'll be honest, like me, now I'm 31, so obviously the same age as Portia when she had to really start over again. I just left a 2-year relationship, and though we were not married, though we did not have kids, I guess for me, like the thought of starting over and all that, like I'm in that space now, and I'm in like a area of like I want to do all these things that I want to do now. Not that I was being held back previously, but in a way I had to consider someone else. I wanted to travel here, I wanted to travel there, but then this is just me. I felt like I had to consider someone else, like their time. Where would they be? Will they be able to come with me? Versus now, it's like, like I'm free. that make sense? Not that I wasn't free before, but I'm free to do with my time what I will and how I want to spend it. I'm free to be wherever I want. And just when Portia was talking about it, it just took me back to thinking about myself and thinking of her at that time. And it was just nice to see. Like I'm really happy for her. So I am feeling so emotional because I don't know. It just looking at her, no matter how her life turned out, no matter like what had happened or her choices or things that I probably wouldn't do as a person, I can say that certain things like here and there, and like her, talking about, she's a smart woman and she does write her goals out and she dreams of like, just taking her life to the next level. Like I have the same, like I want the same stuff for myself, not in the same way that I'm saying same with her, but in the terms of like I have like dreams and things and goals that I really want to do and that I want to just, reach for the stars. As Beyonce said, reach for the stars. Like I don't want to be just settled with whatever I'm capable of today. I don't want to be settled with whatever I thought I was capable of yesterday or whatever people say I'm capable of. Like I just want more and I want better for myself. So that's a whole other video for another time, which I'll be talking about. But yeah, I just felt like I love that for Portia and I love the scene. So you know what? Good for her. Good for Portia. She scammed the scammer, and here we are in this lovely house. And also when Portia, I think he had asked her about another child. I was like, please. So you're not even here. She is literally with someone else, a woman at that. So it didn't even matter. Like she had asked her, he had asked her, or they started talking about having more children, and she was like, one and done. Good for her. Like you're more power to your body, your choice. Like you're the one that's going to be carrying the baby. You're the one that's most likely going to be spending the most time with this baby. It's up to you. So there's that. After that, actually, in the scene, they did like you know how back in the day they used to do this right on time, well, not right on time, but in the moment, like confessionals, where like they ask you blah blah blah, like what happened in the scene. Like I thought that was so cool because I remember watching it and I was like, hang on a minute, I have not seen this in a while. Like it took me back to the old days, like season one and season two, and like all those times, or the time when Sheree, I didn't want to pull Kim's wig. I just shifted it a little bit that time. And when she was on the street doing her interview, and obviously Nini as well, like, oh, that took me back. I feel like they should bring them back because it's like it's nice. You just see sort of their honest, not honest, but their raw replies right there in the moment, not like a more refined one. As time has passed, or as more things have progressed, and yeah, it was cool to me. I like that. After this scene or whatever, we see Angela, Portia, and Phaedra meet up at a spin class. And I'll tell you this much: spin classes are amazing, but they are so hard. Like I I would like to find a spin class, but I'll go looking for one at some point, at some stage. Not today, really. Um, yeah, the girls catch up at the spin class. They do a workout. Phaedra's there, obviously making faces as usual, laughing, kind of, I don't know, hinting at like flirting with the trainer or whatever. And then she says that she's already been and done with the trainer now. No trainers for her anymore. Like that was funny. I thought that was funny, but at the same time, when she said that, I just remembered something. I thought of it. I was like, didn't she say that she didn't know what Apollo was doing for work? But then now she's saying that he was a trainer. Because at one point, like I think at the start when they had first come on in season three, I believe, she had said that he worked in like asset recovery, right? And then obviously he then became a trainer, and then from then, I guess she didn't know what he did. Like he just got up, got out of the bed, had a backpack, went out for the day, went to work, came back. So that was interesting that she said that. But you know what? It is what it is. We will not beat a dead horse as it comes to Miss Phaedra. Also, while they were in the spin class, they obviously I know it's for TV. They didn't look like they sweated much, but like I said, it's for TV. It's all for make believe TV, so it is what it is. Um, they started talking about. Apparently, Phaedra said that Pinky eats meat as a vegan, or like Pinky used to eat meat. And I'm like, really trying to understand because I believe it was Shamia and Kelly that had brought it up. And from the flashback that they had played from like the phone conversation, it seemed like I can't really remember. It didn't seem like Phaedra didn't really say that, or if she did say that, she was probably like talking about it from like the perspective of like obviously at one point a vegan was a meat eater, right? At one point, someone that was a vegan is now a meat eater. So I mean, I didn't understand like the correlation between the two. I didn't understand how that conversation needed to be brought up by Shamia and Kelly in the way to sort of make Phaedra out to look crazy. And I know that Phaedra has said some crazy stuff in the past, and we have talked about it, and we know that. But I don't know. Me personally, I didn't understand. Like, it just seemed like a confessional gangster type of moment. Like it's not like they couldn't say what they wanted to say, needed to say to Phaedra in person or to her face or over the phone, like while she was there live on the phone call. And they are just taking a story and running it around. And as the story gets around, and by the time it gets to the person that allegedly said whatever they said, it is completely changed and completely different. So I didn't get that. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but if I keep looking this way, I have my iPad here with all my notes, in case you're wondering. Because my mind will start to be wandering all over the damn place, and the next thing you know, we're here for longer than 30 minutes. It's 21 minutes now. My God. Let's see. Let's talk about Phaedra. Obviously after that, there's a scene with I guess before going to Pinky's event, Phaedra and Portia are over at Phaedra's house, and Phaedra had prepared like some food or whatever for them to eat because I guess going to Pinky's place, there's no meat there, and as a meat eater, I mean, I personally would do the same as well. Because if I was going somewhere where I maybe knew that for one, maybe there's no food, or the food is probably something I wouldn't eat, I'd make sure I eat like a decent amount of food at home before I go out. Because by the time I get there, I'll be really hungry, and I just don't want to be standing around like, now I'm hungry. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So I didn't see any issue with them eating beforehand because I think Portia was saying, I don't know if it was good etiquette or something for them to eat before going or whatever. Or if it was classy or something. You're not vegans. There's no meat there. Or if you're a vegan and you're going somewhere with meat, I don't know. Figure yourself out. Figure. That's just what I would do. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, while they were at Phaedra's house, her son Aiden walks in, and I guess they asked him like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Like, he had just finished school because on Fridays they finish early, and he had mentioned he was going for a little nap, which I thought was so funny. Like, I was like, oh bless him. Like, it's nice. Like, I love nowadays. I can only speak for the black kids or like the ethnic kids or whatever. It's nice to see like kids nowadays, they have the freedom or they feel free to be like, hey, I'm taking this break because I don't feel well, or I feel tired, or like my mental health. And I love that for them because I just feel like a lot of times with like the older generations, it was always like go 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 go. It was always like like the Phaedra and Portia were laughing about, like, oh, when I was your age, I did X, Y, and Z. I did 50 million things if I could even rest. There was no such thing as rest, when we know that rest and recuperation is something that's so important. It's something that, you're a human being, you're not a machine. So it was, I guess, funny but interesting at the same time, because I was like, I know that they were not trying to make him feel bad, but it came across that way to me. Like, I don't know, like, he's obviously growing up in a house where, like, his mother's doing really, really well for herself. They have money. Why should, I don't know. It just seemed like the struggle is so normalized that people wear it as a badge of honor. And I could be wrong. Like, I personally never really, I wouldn't say I never really struggled, but my parents, like, we had like a schedule for after school. Like, when you get home, have a snack, have a shower, sit down, relax, have a nap if you want. Like, that was like our schedule. So I just felt like it was like a normal thing to just come home and want to relax. Like, there is nothing wrong with relaxing, but I guess to each his own, and how the people grew up. But it was funny, but at the same time, it was kind of like, oh, I don't know. Not everyone needs to struggle, I guess, or not everyone needs to go through like a struggle patch to get somewhere, I guess. So that's it. So yeah, obviously after that, they then go to Pinky's event, Pinky's charity event, where everyone had to bring something for their specific charities, not specific charities, but bring something for the charity that Pinky's supporting. Like it was like, I guess, like hygiene products, I guess, or like cleaning sort of stuff for people. Everyone was there, but what's her name, Drew? I think Drew was sick, so I do hope that Drew did send in something as well, because I mean it is a charity and it's for people, so I hope she sent something. And I was actually watching another content creator, the book Ashley's live, and someone said while they were doing the charity, they were like, I think one of the commenters was like, "Oh, I wonder what Britt Edie would have brought," and I was like, "I'm done," because I remember from last season when she just rocked up with barely nothing. Like she rocked up in a Rolls Royce with just like a little tiny box with like tissues and toilet paper that probably could last like just 3 days. Like she rocked up with barely nothing, and obviously they then got into like a big thing with Shamia in Grenada. Yeah, so that was it. Um, where are we? Also, my still ongoing question: does Derek know that Pinky's about to file for bankruptcy? I don't know. We will see, I guess. Also, while they were at what's her name? There was like a couple of things going on. While they were at Pinky's event, it comes up that Shamia was on an interview or something, and they must have asked her like either of Phaedra and Cynthia, who would she pick to, I guess, raise her kids if something were to happen to her, she were to pass away or whatever, and she picked Cynthia. And this is my opinion, I feel like she picked Cynthia because for one, Cynthia has a daughter. For two, Cynthia's daughter's like an adult now, and Cynthia's at the phase in her life where she's free to do whatever. So I guess that must have been the perspective that she was coming from. But then I felt like Phaedra, from what Phaedra said, she took offense. And the perspective that Phaedra came from was, in a way, Phaedra felt that maybe she was questioning her mothering skills or like her as a mother. I don't think Shamia meant it like that. It just came across that way to Phaedra to create a problem. I don't know. It just seemed like that. It just seems like there's like a lot of miscommunication, or I don't know. It really seemed that way to me. Like, interesting. Very, very interesting. That's why I said it's the battle of the confessional gangsters, because obviously people will misconstrue something, say something different, and then say something different in scene, and then they will get behind the interview wall or whatever, and then say something completely different. So interesting. Like, I don't know. That's the way I took it with what Shamia said in terms of why, or like her choosing Cynthia, unless she actually said why, which I cannot remember because I just, like I said, we're just typing anything. Um, so that's what Pinky's event, Pinky's charity event. Sorry. We then go to like Portia's house, and I think Dennis comes over. So Dennis comes over while they were there at home, and while also they were at home, they also meet this guy called Torian or Torin. He comes over, and I recognize him because he's from Candy and the Gang, and he's so fine. But anyway, what? What? I think he's so handsome. Fine too. Anyway, he comes over and he's like some sort of like interior designer or decorator or something. He came over, and I remember from last season actually he had done the after show interviews, like the set design, and I thought it was so beautiful. He did like this nude brown warmy color, like if you Google the pictures or if you check last year's after show interviews, he did an amazing job. So he had come over because he was redoing one of Portia's rooms. I think Portia will be using that as like a studio or something. And yeah, I think he's going to do a great job. I really can't wait to see like what he comes up with for Portia's room. So that was pretty cool. Obviously, Dennis is there. I did mention that Dennis rocked up. Dennis is at Portia's house, and obviously while they're there, Dennis does see a flower that Portia's rental boyfriend gave or whatever. And I guess he not took an issue, but he was like asking all these questions about like who are they from and blah blah blah. It's like, when I was thinking that, I was like, Dennis, you had your time. You had your time in this relationship. You clearly didn't respect her. You clearly didn't like her enough or love her enough to, like, want to, for one, not cheat. And you lost her. So I don't understand why someone, they clearly lost someone, but then they have all this nerve and, gall to just ask all these questions about someone's dating life. Like, this has nothing to do with you. Just focus on being a step parent and, just keep moving that way. Bye, Dennis. And also at the same time, he's got a girlfriend from what Portia said. So why are you worried about what your ex has going on? It doesn't matter if she's your baby mother or not. So that was interesting, but you know what? It is what it is. That was kind of funny at the same time. Goodbye, Dennis. Go away. Um, I guess we end the scene or end the episode with Pinky and her husband, and I think she finally tells him they go for a walk, I believe, and she finally tells him that she is filing for bankruptcy, and he offers her $5 million, and she kind of refuses, or she doesn't really take it. I can't remember, but like my thing is like, as I said in my previous or like the last review for episode number 3, if you're married to someone with money that they can use to bail you out, and you're in like a pickle, why wouldn't the first person that you tell or whatever be him? Why wouldn't you run to him and be like, hey, look, I need help with all these things. I am struggling. I need X, Y, and Z. Like, why is there such like a big pushback and like a refusal for help? Like, is she? I mean, she did mention like I think her dad went to prison for gosh, however many long, and she saw her mother struggled and like, is it something in her that she still wants to be this strong lady as she should, but the way she goes about it is like in like a struggle sort of way, in like a way that she is used to the struggle, so she goes with that flow, which is now him offering money to her husband and she is refusing to take it. Like, I'm just trying to understand, or is there something going on within the relationship itself where she doesn't feel comfortable with him giving her money because it's like a power move where he might hold something over her head. Like, I'm not entirely sure where Pinky's mindset is or where Pinky wants to go as it relates to what we see. I mean, like I said before, me personally, I would have taken the money. I mean, and then figure everything else out before. But then I'm not in their relationship. I'm not in their marriage. I don't know what is going on in the background for her to feel this way. And we obviously might see at some stage, but I hope it's not like something terrible, terrible, terrible. Which is what I said. Like, is he someone that will hold something over her head, or is it just like she's just so used to being the strong person, the one that figures things out, and she's so used to doing it alone, but she doesn't have to. Like, she is married to what it seems like someone who wants to support her, so she should allow him to support her. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. I hope they figure it out. Obviously, it has come out that she has then like since filed for bankruptcy, so I don't think she took his money. So I wish her well. I wish them well. I thank you all so much for watching this YouTube video of mine, this review of episode number 4. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe with a friend if you want. If you have any suggestions for my videos on how to make things better for my reviews, please, let me know down in the comments. Please be respectful, be kind to me, please, and each other. I love you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you next time for another review. Bye!